Hi, this is Mrs. Hannell, and I am over here helping you to get ready for your Quiz 7 test tomorrow. It is going to be an easy test if you're listening to this video and practicing along with me. So let's get started to ace this quiz. The first question is the formula for the area of a triangle is A equals 1/2 BH. Which of the following best represents the formula in terms of B? So we're solving for B. Let's go ahead and underline that. Which of the following best represents the formula in terms of B? The key word here is B, and so we can automatically knock off some of these answers. A is solving for H. C is solving for H. So now we have a better chance of getting the right answer. Now we have to use our strategy, which is move, divide, and reduce to get the B by itself. So we're going to write the equation A equals 1/2 BH. We're going to move whatever it is that is on the same side as B. We're trying to get the B by itself, so we need to get rid of H, and we need to get rid of 1/2. However, if I don't see a plus or minus sign, I get to skip that step. So the next step is to divide. The easiest thing to do is to get rid of the 1/2 first by dividing. So, and when we divide with a fraction, remember we're using KFC. And so that is keeping the fraction 1/2 on the right-hand side, flipping it on the outside to 2/1, and changing it from D, which stood for divide, to multiply. And then on the left-hand side, we take the A, we put parentheses around it like we did the right side, and we put 2/1 beside that, just like we did on the right. Okay, on the left-hand side, that leaves us with 2A. On the right-hand side, it gets rid of the fraction and leaves us with B times H. So now we still divide because we have to get rid of the H. So we're going to put a division bar under both sides, divide by the H and get rid of it. And so our equation is B is equal to 2A over H. And so we want to make sure that we have the H on the bottom. That knocks out B, and our choice for the right answer is D. I put another literal equation up where we have to solve in terms of H. So we need the H by itself. We notice that in C and D, we did not solve for H, it was for R, so those are that's the wrong variable. Now we can write our equation, V equals 1/3 pi R squared H, and we are going to solve for the H, which means that we get rid of 1/3 pi and R squared. The easiest thing to do again is to get rid of the fractions. So we're going to write the equation again, and then we're going to divide by 1/3. Remember that dividing by 1/3 is the same thing as keeping the 1/3, changing it to multiplication, and flipping the fraction to 3/1. And we're going to go to the left side, put the multiplication symbol again, write the fraction upside down as 3/1 again, and then that makes our left side 3V. Equals, and our right side, we got rid of the fraction when we did that, and we have pi R squared H. we still need to get h by itself. So I notice that pi r squared is multiplied by h. So we're still dividing. We're going to draw a line under the right side and write the letters we're getting rid of. So we're getting rid of pi and the variable r squared. We're putting it on the bottom to get rid of those. And we go to the left side and write the letters, the variables that we were getting rid of on that side as well. So we end up with 3v on top of pi r squared. And that's our answer for the variable, or which of the following best represents the formula in terms of h. The next problem that you will see on your quiz tomorrow is where you have to find the domain and the range of f. The domain, you remember, is the left side to the right side. And that just means that we want these in order from the least to the greatest. And so on the left side, my lowest term on the left where my graph begins is right here, and that is -4. And these are all the values of x right here on that graph. So we put the x, make sure you leave space because we'll have to come back to put the arrows for the inequality. And on the other side, we have the greatest value right here. And that is the 5 that we have on the x-axis. So it ranges from -4 on the left to 5 on the right. Let's go back and put our inequality symbols. So at -4, we have an open circle. That means that it is just less than. And on the right-hand side, we have a colored or shaded circle, which means we include the equal sign. Next, we need to have the range. And so for the range, we are going to look from the bottom to the top. So we're looking right here at the bottom of the graph. And the number I have there is -2. That's the least number. The bottom is lower than the top because the top is positive. And then the top of the graph is at 6. And these are the values for y, so we'll put y in the middle. We're going to go back to -2, where we marked our -2. The circle is not shaded, so we have no equal sign under that. But at the top, where it is shaded, at 6, we have it shaded, so that means at the top it has the equal sign, whereas at the bottom it was not shaded and it was just the arrow. Just the inequality symbol. And that was from bottom to top, or we can say least to greatest. Put the least number on the left, the greatest on the right. The next equation that we have is a literal equation. We're solving for y. So we need to move the 8x. And we're going to start with moving the 8x. And we do that by putting a minus sign. 8 minus 8 does give us 0. And so if we get 0 on this side, it means that we've moved it off of the left side, and we have 4y on the left now. And on the right, we have -8x plus 36. Don't add these or subtract these because they are not like terms. The next thing we're doing in our steps is D for divide. And we're going to divide by 4 because we want to solve for y. So we have to get rid of 4. 4y divided by 4 will solve for y. And on the right side, we have to put each one of those terms over 4 as well. What you did to the left, you have to do to the right. So the same number goes below those. So you have y equals, and we're going to simplify or reduce this because the fraction 8/4 can be divided and you get -2x, and the fraction 36/4 can be divided to get 9. So your equation is y equals negative 2x plus 9. The last problem that we have is representing the following linear function as a table, then graph the function on the grid provided and identify the attributes. So we have to solve for y like we did in the last problem. We're going to get rid of the 2x so that we have this in slope-intercept form. When we do that, I'm going to write the equation to the right. The 2x goes away and we have a negative y equals negative 2x plus 4. And so we can get rid of the negative sign on the y, but that also means that we're getting rid of the signs that we have on the right hand side. So we're changing them also to their opposites. Negative 2 becomes positive now, and positive 4 becomes negative now. Everything switches their sign, if the y does. So we need the x-intercept, the y-intercept, the zeros, the domain, and range. So let's do a table. We're going to get the calculator up, and we're going to push in our equation. So we're going to clear out whatever we have, and we're going to push y equals, and we're going to put in our equation 2x minus 4. And then push your second button and your graph button to get your table. So we are going to list our numbers. We can start with negative since this is not a word problem, and we can put negative 2, negative 8. Just write the numbers that you have in your table. We can put negative 1 and negative 6. We can put 0 and negative 4. We can put 1 and negative 2. And we can put 2 and 0. Okay, once we get that, we can graph it. So we have the point negative 2, negative 8 is to the left 2 and down 8. And negative 1, negative 6 is to the left 1 and down 6. And then 0, negative 4 is at 0 and down to negative 4. 1, negative 2 is over 1 and down 2. This should make a line over, and the next point is to 0. Okay, so I plotted all of these points right here on my graph, and then I can connect it with a line. So I'm going to connect that with a line. My line just broke. Okay, and then I can look at it and see where my x-intercept is. It should be positive 2, 0. This is an x-intercept right here, crossing the x-axis, and that point is 2, 0. So I'm going to put 2, 0. Let me double check on our graph here. Yes, I have the x-intercept right there. And then the y-intercept should be right here where you're crossing the y-axis. And so that y-intercept is 0 on the x-axis, but you went down 3. So it should be 0, negative 3. And that was off. My bad. It should be 0, negative 4. Zero, negative 4. That's why we always check over here with our table. And so 0, negative 4 is our y-intercept. And then we can see where our zeros are. Zeros are right here on the x-axis, the number that you cross on the x-axis. So it is x equals 2. And then our domain is our least on the left to the greatest on the right. So our least number on the left is right here at negative 5. And then we have less than, and then we go up and